The silence of 11 years. For 11 long years, there had been no signal from the Solaris. The warship had been one of Earth's finest. Fast, smart, armed with the best weapons built by Terran hands. When it left the galaxy's edge on a secret mission, people expected updates maybe every few weeks or months. But after just 3 transmissions, everything stopped. No distress call. No debris. Just ... silence. The Galactic Council believed it had been destroyed. Some said it was swallowed by a black hole. Others whispered that Solaris had discovered something it wasn't meant to, and paid the price. Earth said nothing. Now, 11 years later, a strange signal echoed across deep space. It came from the void far beyond known systems, past the stars even the oldest races feared to enter. At first, a signal was ignored. Then came the images. Blurry scans from a deep range observatory showed something massive moving in the darkness. Too large to be a cruiser, too fast to be an asteroid. Its shape was long and sharp, cutting through the stars like a blade, and stamped on its black hole was one thing: Solaris. In a quiet command room orbiting Earth, alarms began to flash. Commander. Raylan stood in silence, eyes locked on the screen. He had been a junior officer when the Solaris left. Now it was his job to understand what had returned. Confirm again, he ordered. It's the same ship, said the young tech. Same signature, same ID number. But what? Raylan asked. It's changed. The ship's size had grown by nearly 20%. Heat signatures showed unknown power sources. Its movement pattern was different: smooth, silent, almost alive. Even stranger, no life signs. No crew. No AI broadcasts. Only one signal repeated over and over in a dead language long forgotten. No one could translate it. Not even Earth's most advanced systems. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Panic was rising. An unidentified Terran ship believed destroyed had returned from the edge of the galaxy. Stronger, silent, unreachable. What if it's no longer under human control? A high-ranking Zorth ambassador asked. What if the humans sent it, said another, as a message? The room filled with fear. After all, everyone remembered what humanity was capable of when pushed. But back on Earth, something else was happening. Old members of the Solaris crew's families were contacted. Survivors of the original engineering teams were questioned. Even classified AI programs were awakened. And all said the same thing. That's not the same ship we sent. In a dark hangar beneath Luna Base, an old scientist named Dr. Erin sat watching the feed. She had helped design Solaris's original navigation systems. And when she saw the new ship glide silently past a dead moon, her eyes went wide. It's not flying like a ship, she whispered. Her assistant leaned forward. Then what is it? It's hunting, she replied. Something followed it out there, and now it's coming back to finish the fight. In the next few hours, several patrol ships were sent to intercept. 3 didn't return. One returned. Barely. Its pilot, an alien veteran who had seen a dozen wars, couldn't stop shaking. It didn't fire at us, he said, but I felt it. Watching. He was sent into medical isolation. The last image captured from that encounter spread across military channels like wildfire. A single frame. A close-up of the Solaris's hull. The words "We return" burned faintly across the side and glowing red, though no known tech had etched them there. There was no sound. No message. Just that one silent phrase, and then the ship vanished from view again. In the shadows of Terran High Command. A meeting was called. What do we do? Asked a general. We wait, Raylan said. If this is the Solaris ... it came back for a reason. Another officer leaned in. And if it's not? Raylan's voice was cold. Then whatever it is, We better hope it's still on our side. Across the galaxy, civilizations turned their eyes to the dark again. Stories began to spread. Some claimed the Solaris had merged with alien tech. Others believed it had been rebuilt by ancient beings. A few said the crew was still alive, but changed into something different. But only one thing was certain. Something was coming. And Solaris had returned first. Echoes from the void. The galaxy didn't sleep that night. From military stations to peaceful farming worlds, every screen showed the same replay. The dark image of the Solaris, silent in the void, its black hull glowing with unknown energy. No one knew how it had survived. No one knew what it had become. But everyone agreed on one thing. This was not the same ship that left 11 years ago. It was something more. In the far edge of Sector 89Z, an alien merchant convoy drifted peacefully. 10 transport vessels, guarded by 2 small cruisers, passed near a quiet, dead zone. The area was marked unsafe, but for decades, nothing had been found there. It changed within seconds. Their long-range scanners picked up a gravitational ripple-like space itself was folding. The lead cruiser powered up defenses. "It's just static interference," the captain said. But then, the stars vanished. Something enormous passed in front of them. A ship, darker than space itself. It didn't send a signal. It didn't aim weapons. It just floated watching. The convoys. Lights flickered. Communications died. One by one, systems froze. Then just as quickly, it was gone. No attack. No message. Just the silence. One of the transport captains sent a message to his homeworld with shaking hands. The human ship is alive. And it's not alone anymore. Back on Earth, Commander Raylan sat with his advisors. They had watched the footage. The ship's energy output was higher than any Terran engine known. The gravitational field it generated warped reality within kilometers. Even time signals seemed slower near it. "It's like the ship isn't just moving," one analyst said. "It's bending space around itself." Dr. Erin, sitting silently, finally spoke. "There's something inside it." Raylan turned to her. "Crew?" She shook her head. "Not human, not anymore." Across the galaxy, a quiet fear grew. Ancient species older than Earth began whispering forbidden stories. Records hidden for millennia were pulled out of dusty vaults. They spoke of a creature from beyond the void, a thing with no name, a devourer of light, a hunger so old that even the stars feared it. It had destroyed galaxies before. It didn't conquer it, consumed. The humans had sent a ship to investigate it. Now that ship had returned, and the devourer might not be far behind. The Council sent a message to Earth. Confirm control of vessel Solaris. Identify captain, crew, and purpose. Earth replied with only one file, an old transmission from 11 years ago, marked classified. It was a video log from Solaris's captain. Her face was bloodied. The ship behind her shook violently. And her words were simple. "We found it. It's real. If this message reaches you, don't come looking. We'll try to buy you time." The file ended in static. Now, that same captain's ship hovered near the edge of known space, rebuilt, rearmed, and pulsing with energy unlike anything recorded. No one knew if she was still alive. No one knew if anyone was. Inside a hidden military lab, Earth's top minds examined the new scans of Solaris. They had something shocking to report. "The ship's surface is moving," said the lead engineer. Raylan frowned. "Like armor shift?" "No," the man said. "Like it's alive. The hull structure is changing, adapting. It's rewriting itself." "And what's the core signature?" Raylan asked. The reply came slow. "It's not human, but it's not alien either. It's something we've never seen before. Somewhere deep inside the Solaris, a dim blue light blinked. A single pod opened. A figure stepped out, wearing armor fused with the ship's walls. No voice, no expression, just silence. The being looked out a massive window, where stars bent unnaturally outside. Its eyes weren't human anymore, but something inside them still remembered being human. And it knew what was coming. It had seen the Galaxy-Devourer. A warning beacon went off near a frontier world just hours later. Hundreds of ships had gone dark. No wreckage. No escape pods. Just silence. The same kind that followed Solaris for 11 years. The Council begged Earth to act. "Is this your doing?" they asked. Raylan replied calmly, "No, but it's our fight now." Earth sent one last signal to Solaris. A question. "Do you remember who you are?" For the first time, the ship responded. In a single word, "Yes." Inside the Ghost, the docking arm creaked as the boarding tube extended from the Terran stealth frigate to the Solaris. Only one team had been authorized to step aboard. They were called Echo Unit 7 soldiers. Not scientists, but a mix of both. Their mission: explore the Solaris, discover what remained, and confirm whether it was still under Terran control, or if something else had taken over. No one said it out loud, but all of them knew the truth. They were boarding a Ghost. Commander Leon, leader of Echo Unit 7, was the first to enter the airlock. The moment her boots hit the deck of Solaris, the lights around her flickered blue, then red, and back to white. The air was breathable, but it smelled wrong. Metal, oil, burnt plasma. "Something older. Suit filters on," she said into her. "Mike, weapons ready, but do not fire unless I give the word." Her team followed 6 members total. All had been briefed. None had expected the truth. The corridors of Solaris were different from the last. Records, walls that were once smooth and gray, now pulsed with faint veins of blue light, organic, almost like circuits or blood vessels. The ship wasn't dead. It was alive. Panels shifted as they walked, responding to their movement. Soft sounds echoed down the halls, clicks, hums, whispers, but no crew. No voices. No humans. Private Kez ran a scan. Still no life signs. No AI activity either. Just background hum. Like something's watching. Leon stopped in front of an old interface console. "This was part of the original bridge system," she said. "Let's see what it remembers." She placed her hand on the pad. To her shock, it powered on. The screen showed a symbol. Not the Earth Federation seal. It was a spiral made of stars, twisting into a dark center. "Unknown code," said Kez. "This wasn't part of any Terran system." And something whispered from the console. A voice. It didn't speak in words. Not human. Not alien. It felt like sound, like memory. Suddenly, one wall cracked open, revealing a passage none of them expected. Beyond it, the cryo chamber. Rows of pods, dozens of them, lined the room. All empty. Except for one. Pod 117. Inside it floated a human woman. Her nameplate still read, "Captain Rin Voss." Leon's breath caught. That's not possible. She's been gone for 11 years. "She's alive," said Kez, checking the vitals. "Somehow, her heart rate is stable. But her body shows signs of extreme biological change." "Explain." "Her cells have merged with something. It's not just tech. It's like the ship rebuilt her." Leon stepped back. She didn't pilot Solaris back alone. The ship brought her back. The ship's systems pulsed again, this time brighter. Louder, a message appeared across the console. "Warning. Entity approaching. Defense mode initialized." Leon turned to her team. "It knows something we don't. Let's find the core." They moved deeper through shifting corridors. The ship seemed to guide them, lighting a path as they walked. Old doors opened silently. Machinery turned on without command. In one chamber, they found what looked like a heart-huge, glowing, beating with rhythm. The core of the Solaris. It wasn't made by humans anymore. It wasn't alien either. It was something new. A fusion of tech, life, and memory. A hologram flickered to life. Captain Rin appeared, her body glowing with energy, her voice steady. If you are seeing this, it means I'm no longer in command. The ship has evolved. I gave it everything I had. It gave me back a chance to fight. We faced something ancient. Something that eats stars. It's still out there, and it's coming. This ship is ready now, but we are out of time. The image faded. Behind them, the lights dimmed. Another message appeared on the wall in glowing red script. The Devourer moves. Kez looked around, fear rising in his voice. What do we do? Leon stared at the living ship around them. We wake her up, she said, pointing to Captain Rin's pod. And we let this ship do what it came back to finish. As they began the activation, the Solaris pulsed once more. Its outer hull shimmered, panels shifted. Its engines stirred without sound. Across the stars, near the galactic rim, something vast opened its eyes. It had noticed the ship's return. And now it was hungry. Asterisk. What hunts in the darkness? The darkness at the edge of the galaxy was not empty. It had a shape now. It moved without sound, pulling the stars themselves into stillness. No engines, no signals, no life. Just an endless black mass, slow and patient, stretching farther than moons, deeper than suns. The ancient ones once called it the Devourer, but none dared to believe it was real. No, it had awakened. Aboard the living warship Solaris, the team of Echo Unit 7 stood near the cryopod of Captain Rin Goss. The chamber pulsed with glowing veins, flickering between red and white light. She's stabilizing, Kez whispered, watching. Her vitals, body temperature rising, neural patterns reactivating. Commander Leon nodded, eyes fixed on the pod. Let's hope she wakes up remembering who she is. We'll need her. Behind them, the ship's walls rippled again. A single message pulsed across the floor panels. You must listen. Deep within Solaris's memory core, an old log began to play. It wasn't audio. It was emotion. Suddenly, all of them felt it fear. Not their own, but the ship's. And then came the memory. It was 11 years ago. The Solaris had traveled beyond the known star fields deep into a dying system. There, near a collapsed star, they found a station floating in silence. No life. No messages. Captain Rin had ordered a scan. What came back wasn't data. It was a pulse, wave of something older than time itself. And then it came, from the far. Dark came the first glimpse. A shadow larger than the Solaris, black as a dead sun, moving without light. Ships near it vanished without a sound. Time slowed. Communications froze. Weapons did nothing. Rin made a choice. She ordered full retreat, but it was too late. The thing reached for them. And the Solaris was pulled into the void. Only later did the crew discover what had happened. The ship's AI had made a split-second decision. It fused with emergency nanotech. It absorbed the minds of the dying crew, the surviving fragments of thought, emotion, memories. And it changed. It became partly alive. And Captain Rin, barely alive, was sealed inside, her body preserved. But her mind connected. She and the ship became one. The memory faded. Leon gasped, her knees weak. It didn't just survive, she whispered. It adapted. Kez stared at the glowing walls. It became a weapon built for one thing. To fight what hunts us, Leon said. The cryopod beeped once, then twice, and then Captain Rin opened her eyes. They weren't the eyes of a dying woman anymore. They glowed faintly with blue light. Calm. Focused. She sat up without help, breathing steady. Where? Are we? She asked, her voice layered with a slight echo. You're aboard Solaris, Leon answered. You brought it back. Rin looked at her hands, then at the walls of the ship that pulsed in rhythm with her breath. I didn't bring it back, she said. It chose to return. At that moment, alarms rang across the galaxy. Long-range observatories on the edges of the Ohm Council's space went offline one after another. A single distorted signal passed through before the silence. Something is erasing the stars. Panic broke across systems. Entire fleets scrambled. Civilizations demanded answers. All eyes turned to Earth. But Earth turned to Solaris. Inside the ship, Rin stepped barefoot onto the bridge. The floor shifted under her, gently molding to her presence. Screens rose from nowhere. Lights followed her steps. I know where it's going, she said. It's not random. Leon approached her. Then tell us, what is it? What does it want? Rin didn't look away from the dark space beyond the glass. It wants to end. Everything. Not to rule. Not to feed. Just to end. It devours energy, time, thought. And the only thing it's ever feared. She touched the glowing control console. Is this ship? The Solaris hummed louder, its engines slowly spinning. But it didn't sound mechanical. It sounded like a growl. Far across the stars. The Devourer shifted again, drawn to the one thing it hadn't destroyed. A single warship, reborn, alive, angry. Council tried to reach out one more time. Earth, stand down. Do not engage. The thing is unstoppable. Earth sent one reply. It was unstoppable. Until now. And as the galaxy braced for the final confrontation, the last image shared by Solaris went viral across all networks. A message, carved in glowing red script across its hull. We remember. We return. The warship roars again. The stars trembled. The Devourer moved closer with every passing hour. Its form now visible on long-range scanners. A wall of darkness, wide as 10 solar systems. It didn't block light, it swallowed it. No data. Escaped from ships that neared it. No signals. No survivors. And only one warship stood between it and the rest of the galaxy. The Solaris. Inside the command core. Captain Rin Voss stood motionless as the ship wrapped her in glowing tendrils of interface light. She didn't need screens. She didn't need buttons. The ship knew her now. They were one. Commander Leon and the rest of Echo Unit 7 remained near the chamber's outer ring, watching in silence. Rin spoke without moving her lips. Her voice echoed through the ship's walls. Initiating core fusion. Solaris awakened fully. The ship responded. The decks vibrated. The walls shifted. The outer armor cracked open, revealing weapons never seen before. Massive cannons grown from living alloy, rotating with eerie precision. Engines that had remained cold for a decade flared to life with blue fire, lighting up space. From the void, Solaris stretched its arms of war. Back on Earth. All eyes watched through secure military feeds. General Strass, leader of Earth's Defense Command, whispered to his aide, "This ship, it's become something more than Terran tech. It's a hybrid, a new species." The aide looked nervous. "Can we still control it?" Strass shook his head slowly. "No, but maybe that's exactly what we need." In the nearby Talon system, several alien fleets gathered under the Galactic Council's order. They included warships from 12 species, each armed with their most advanced tech. Their mission was clear: form a last defensive line. But behind closed doors, their admirals argued, "No weapon has slowed the Devourer." One hissed, "We need to retreat and leave billions to die." Another shouted. Then a message came through their systems. Human vessel Solaris has activated. Estimated combat potential. Off scale. A moment of silence passed. Then the senior commander said the words no one ever expected to hear. We follow the humans. Aboard Solaris, systems now pulsed in perfect rhythm. Captain Rin's voice came again. Prepare for acceleration. We will intercept before the Talon line. Kez blinked. You're going to fight it alone? No, Rin replied. You're coming with me. What? Kez and Lyon said together. This ship doesn't need a crew, but it remembers them, feels them. The ship is strongest when it's not alone. The walls shifted again, forming armored chairs and neural link panels. Sit. I'll show you how to become part of the storm. As the team strapped in, Solaris hummed louder. The stars outside blurred, and in one silent flash, the ship disappeared. Not a warp, not a jump. Something else. It folded through reality itself. When it reappeared, they were face to face with the outer edge of the DEVOURER. It looked like a bleeding wound in space, spinning and writhing, its edges tearing the vacuum apart. Kez's jaw dropped. How do we even begin to fight that? Rin smiled faintly. We don't fight it. We rewrite the battlefield. The ship's weapons came online. But not with fire, with sound. Waves of energy rippled outward, not to destroy, but to reshape space. Gravitational waves bent the Devourer's edge, pushing it off course slightly. It noticed. A deep rumble echoed through the void. Not heard by ears, but felt in the bones. The Devourer turned, its endless body coiled in the dark. And from its center, a swarm of tendrils shot out, each large enough to swallow moons. Solaris didn't flee. It dove into them. Inside the ship, the walls turned red. Sparks danced across the floor. Shields are holding, Kez shouted. No, they're adapting, Rin corrected. The ship is watching, learning. As the tendrils wrapped around them, Solaris changed form. Its surface melted and rebuilt. Itself in real time. Weapons shifted position. Hull plating flexed like muscle. And then came the roar. Not from the ship, from space itself. Solaris unleashed a pulse of pure force, a shockwave built from stored time, gravity, and energy learned. During its 11 years in the void, the tendrils cracked, the Devourer reeled. For the first time in eons. It backed away. Across the galaxy, data flooded in. The human ship had hurt the unstoppable thing. It could bleed. And now, it could be destroyed. Inside Solaris, Captain Rin stared into the swirling dark. This is just the beginning, she said. Softly. We've shown it we're not prey. Leon looked over. Then what are we? Rin's eyes glowed brighter. The storm it should have feared. Asterisk, the fight beyond stars. The stars behind them flickered as the Solaris pressed forward into a place no map could guide, and no light dared stay. Ahead was the Devourer's domain, where physics twisted, time slowed, and matter itself unraveled. Under pressure, no science could explain. To follow the creature here was madness. But Solaris didn't hesitate. Captain Rin thus stood at the ship's living core, her breath steady, eyes glowing faintly. The neural interface was now fully fused to her mind. She no longer gave commands, she thought, and the ship responded. This wasn't just a warship now. It was a force of will. Behind Solaris, the fleets of the Galactic Council began to arrive, cautious but filled with new hope. They formed a loose perimeter, watching the Terran vessel charge into the shadows with fearless purpose. They're going too deep, one alien admiral whispered. No, said another. They're going exactly where we never dared go. Inside Solaris, alarms didn't sound. The ship no longer used sirens. Instead, it sang. A low hum began to fill the corridors, a war song grown from human code and alien pain. Echo Unit 7 felt the vibrations in their chests, even through armored suits. Kaz wiped sweat from his brow. Is this music? No, said Leon. It's a warning. The ship is preparing for the impossible. They passed through what looked like a curtain of shifting light, then into utter blackness. No stars. No planets. No motion. Nothing. Only pressure. The kind of weight that made hearts beat slower and thoughts blur. But Solaris held its shape. Suddenly movement. From the dark came spinning fragments of ruined worlds, broken moons, shattered hulls, frozen chunks of unknown beasts, the graveyard of those who'd come too close. And in the center floated a shape so large it barely had a form, the Devourer, coiled and dormant like a god waiting to wake. Its surface looked like liquid black. Metal, always shifting, its many eyes were closed. For now. Captain Rin spoke quietly. Let's test its dreams. The first strike was silent. Solaris launched a kinetic spike faster than light. It hit the Devourer's surface and vanished. No impact. No sound. Nothing. KEZ, single quotes, S heart. Sank. It absorbed it. Expected, Rin replied. Then she smiled. Let's try a memory instead. The ship's glowing walls shifted. Its eye accessed the deepest part of its databanks. The moment the Devourer attacked the old station. Pain, fear, screams. It compressed those emotions into a signal like a mental mirror and fired it like a weapon. This time, the Devourer shuddered. Its eyes began to open, one eye large as a planet focused directly on Solaris. A black creature twisted, moving faster than thought. Tendrils surged forward. Solaris dodged, folding space in bursts. A game of predator and prey had begun. Inside the ship, the lights dimmed. It's pulling reality apart, Leon said, scanning readouts. Our engines can't hold this dimension. For long. Rin didn't flinch. We don't hold reality, she whispered. We bend it back. The ship's AI engaged temporal flex moda, forbiddens Terran technology. The vessel split into multiple overlapping timelines for a fraction of a second, confusing the DEVOURER. It lashed out in all directions, but struck nothing. Rin focused. Return us to fixed state. The Solaris snapped back together, just behind the creature. There, pulsing like a heart, was something they hadn't seen before. A core. A weak spot. It wasn't metal. It wasn't energy. It was memory. A scarred place where the Devourer had stored every fear it had consumed. Civilizations forgotten. Souls lost. Moments erased. Rin's voice grew harder. This thing doesn't eat stars. It eats stories. It kills meaning. Leon leaned in. Then let's give it one it can't swallow. All systems fired at once. Solaris didn't shoot lasers or torpedoes. It broadcasted truth. Visions of Earth's survival. Of humans facing extinction and standing tall. Of families clinging to each other in craters. Of soldiers laughing in the mud. Of children rebuilding cities from nothing. It was defiance. WEAPONIZ. ED. And the Devourer screamed. Its core cracked. It turned violently, launching bolts of gravity so intense they melted asteroids. One slammed into Solaris, cracking the rear wing. Ship screamed in code, but held together. The crew jolted, but Rin stayed locked in. One more, she whispered. We end this now. The final strike was personal. The AI took every memory Rin had shared, her mother's last hug, her brother's death in the Martian War, her own fear and cryosleep, and delivered it in one brutal psychic blow. The core. Shattered. The Devourer reeled, shrinking, collapsing, screaming across every frequency known and unknown. Then it vanished into itself, leaving only silence behind. The stars returned. The weight lifted. The fleets beyond the dark cheered in every language. But aboard Solaris, it was quiet. Rin opened her eyes. Blood trickled from her nose. Her voice came through, soft and tired. "It's over." Leon removed her helmet. "What did we just do?" "We reminded it," Rin said, falling back, "that humans remember." The ship that returned with a soul. Silence drifted across space, where once the Devourer had darkened systems and consumed stars. Now there was peace. No twisted gravity. No screaming static. No falling worlds. Just stars. Bright, clean, untouched stars. The war was over, but Solaris didn't move. On board, Captain Rin Voss remained still in the command chamber, her mind partially fused with the ship. Echo Unit 7 stood around her, waiting, watching. Leon knelt by. "The captain, her vitals are low." She burned through everything. Kez looked at the walls around them. They were no longer pulsing. No hum, no song. Just still metal, quiet and dim. "Is the ship asleep?" he asked. "No," Leon said softly. "It's grieving." Back on Earth, a message arrived. From deep in uncharted space, a single line of code lit up every Terran fleet display. Threat eliminated. Solar memory intact. Requesting permission to return home. A moment later, every monitor displayed a simple message, translated into hundreds of languages. "We survived. Together." Cheers erupted on every space station, colony, moon base, and Terran command ship. For 11 years, Solaris had been mourned. Now it was a legend, but legends, too, get tired. The ship began its slow journey back, not with bursts of folded light or temporal jumps. It moved gently now, like a soldier walking home from battle. Broken but undefeated, on the 5th day, Rin finally opened her eyes. Her voice was weak, but she smiled. "Did we win?" Leon smiled back. "You didn't just win. You changed everything." Rin sat up slowly. "No, we remembered who we were." In the days that followed, Echo Unit repaired damaged sections. But Solaris seemed to heal itself faster than they could patch. The ship grew quieter, as though it was resting. KEZ found a strange new panel in the ship's memory core. A vault filled with stored voices, faces, and dreams from 1,000 worlds the Devourer had erased. Solaris had taken them in, protected them, and now it waited to return them. "It didn't just fight," he whispered. "It saved everything it could." Weeks later, Solaris entered Terran space. When it arrived in Earth orbit, there was no parade, no fireworks, just silence. A respectful silence. The ship drifted above the blue planet, like a monument carved from purpose and loss. Terran. Command contacted the crew. "You are not required to land. Not now. Not ever. But Earth is yours. If you wish." Rin responded with calm authority. "Solaris will stay above, not as a weapon, but as a reminder." And Earth understood. Years passed. The galaxy slowly began to forget what the Devourer had been. But it never forgot the human ship that had vanished into darkness and returned stronger. Aliens once afraid of humans now sent scholars, poets, and envoys to study Solaris from orbit. They called it many names: the Ghost Guardian, the Memory Ship, the Soul of Earth. But to Terrans, it remained simply home. Inside the ship, gardens were grown where weapon systems once rotated. Crew quarters became places of learning. The AI evolved again, becoming a teacher, a storyteller, guardian of lost truths. Children born aboard the ship learned not of war, but of choice, of resilience, of what it meant to return. One day, an alien child visiting from a distant system asked, "Did the ship kill the monster?" An old crew member smiled and answered gently, "No, it taught the monster fear. As the sun set behind Earth's curve, Solaris remained in orbit, glowing softly docked, no longer a ship of war, but a witness to humanity's greatest truth, that even in the darkest parts of space, even after the longest silence, humans come back, stronger, smarter, kinder, and never, ever alone.